Yeah, unfortunately, there's the time-honored tradition of grabbing them on the throat and crushing the windpipe until they suffocate.
Hmm.
If you don't mind me being so particular.
Right. I guess my hope, though, is that there might have been others that we can also try to tail from the body somehow. Uh,
The problem
but
is
if it
they perish. There's no way to speak to someone. There's no good way to speak to someone like that. But whoever they were highly trained, but also very devoted. That's what really worries me about it.
right. So, we could try to track down the body ourselves, or we could assign this to someone else to go and look for it. It may not
I think
end
we
up
should.
being particularly relevant.
Well, how much money do we have?
I have plenty.
We could just put a bounty. I mean, you're noble and Raphael is not. You could just put a bounty wanted for questioning.
Well,
We just put up money and wait to see if someone finds him. But I'm inclined to agree with you. Raphael's probably in a ditch somewhere.
right, which is why I would probably ask the Chamberlain to send a greener investigator out there to just canvass for the body.
If you can get that in the authority, yes. I would also recommend offering a small reward.
Right, so unless we think we can find anything particular on his body, best to
I
assign it to
think
someone else.
I think Raphael is just all evidence points to Raphael being a casualty of all of this.
Hmm.
I think what we need to do is we need to figure out where assassins of this skill and loyalty came from in the first place and who hired them. This speaks once again to a strong authority.
Right, such is the mystery. But for that, of course, we do need a lead. I don't think there's just an assassin's guild lying about town we can just walk into and start questioning.
No.
Ah, ye old local assassins! Hello, how are you doing today? Uh,
Where did we put the assassin's body?
I think it was left on the side of the road, and at this point, if the Chamberlain cared, they probably took care of it.
I think we need to go back and examine that body some more. I think we might find some details.
Right, so, tab over to lessons here. So, did the Chamberlain take care of the body? Or
The local
local
guards.
constable? Okay.
Yeah, it's outside of the city, so yeah, they basically brought it in. They basically put it in the morgue. Basically, yes.
Okay.
There's
They have a morgue?
Yeah, the city is big enough for having a morgue.
Yeah, we have a larger
That's
city,
true.
so they took it from, like, out of town in.
Yeah.
They would have to put the dead bodies somewhere, at least, so people could come claim them or whatever. All right, well, to the morguery.
Let's go investigate the body, then. Together.
Yeah, basically you find the body the way they preserve it with basically they wrap it, kind of like mummy style, basically.
Mhm.
In order to
I'm
preserve
amazed they
it.
even tried.
But that's not gonna last long. And already even here, it's the morgue is underground, so it's a bit cooler. But even then, the stench of bodies and stuff like that, in basically burial shrouds, because they find bodies, a burglary gone bad, or whatever, or somebody gets stabbed or what have you. So there's a few bodies here.
Spencer,
Um,
Harmon, kneel with me in prayer so that I may abate the stench.
yeah.
Of course. And then quietly pull the perfume from out of your pocket.
Yeah, no, I don't actually have a spell for this. I just told you that.
Yeah.
And it basically seems to be like an attendant who is more like an undertaker, right? He's not, we don't have a scientist who is studying the dead or anything like that.
Right, we don't have a doctor here, like, doing an autopsy or something. No one
It's just basically
cares.
an undertaker, basically, who is just preparing the bodies because if nobody comes to reclaim them, and before they really go out of, they decompose very
Right,
quickly, they'll toss them in a grave, right? So
Into
and
the
we'll
big
make it
hole.
clear.
yeah,
We'll make it clear to the body collector, since this is King's business, if you found anything valuable or interesting on the body, it's evidence and you give it to us, right?
he basically points to like a small pot, and there's some coins there, some jewelry. Like, sorry, sir, I'm not a thief. I will say to you, look upon the pot.
Well, it's your
See what you
providence to, if no one claims the body, it is, part of it is your right to take.
I will say,
I
of course.
apologize.
But I
Uh,
must keep it for the family until such time as it reclaimed.
Of
Only
course.
then, when he's a truly abandoned soul, would I would take my pick of what is there.
Right.
To reclaim it for the city and all.
One way or another, though, we are here for the body. The important evidence we've already collected.
Points. General direction.
Right.
Third stone slab to the left.
Oh, look at this ugly mug. It's still absolutely tarnished from the crash.
Yeah. One thing is, aside from, sort of have to unwrap it a little bit. Aside from the blood, from the wound, right? There doesn't seem to be anything under his nails or in his feet or something like that. You find a handkerchief of his pockets, like tucked in, like very small, and has a faint odor that sort of it makes you feel a little bit drunk when you smell it, like a residue. It's
like, say, chloroform.
or the equivalent therein.
Let me
Hey,
take a
so
closer
horrific.
sniff of it.
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
And
No. Wow, an assassin carrying a soporific. It boggles the mind. Yeah, this is probably what he would use to do poor Raphael.
But no bottle or anything like that, or powders or anything like that.
No. All right. Well,
Raphael
nothing
might
else?
actually be alive then.
Well, perhaps. Now, since this is a body of for a crime scene, and they're already a closed casket funeral, I will get out my misericord, and of course, my animal fat, which I carry on me for reasons I don't care to disclose. And it's time to start shaving the body to see if they have any sort of secret signs or tattoos or anything.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm looking at the handkerchief and seeing if it has, like, any kind of embroidery or anything important on it.
It almost looks like a dirty rag in the first looking, but it really is a handkerchief, so something that was embroidered. But aside from having letter or something like that,
yeah,
the difference
not
between
important,
a rag
ultimately.
and a handkerchief is one actually made for that, as opposed to be ripped off or something like that.
Yeah, it's not silk, but it's also delicate enough to cover someone's mouth and prevent them from howling. Anyway, I'm guessing that we're not going to find anything after we shave the body.
No, you have literally a shaved rat.
Well,
it's disgusting. Could you imagine such a creature?
I've seen quite a thing in my affair. All right, I'll sharpen my misericord and wash my hands of the affair.
Yeah, and the Undertaker sort of, he's leaning back against the wall watching all this. Is like, I've seen stranger things.
Well, we have to examine. He also apparently has no markings, no brands, no whip marks. He's a rat, so I'm assuming all of his teeth are original since those regrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been declawed. He has no obvious. Well, he's been horribly mutilated. So if he had any distinctive features before, they're all pretty much gone now.
Yep.
At least on the neck and head, basically.
And as much as it pains me to say it, so nothing in the stomach, right?
Regular meal.
Okay, so he didn't swallow any jewels, signet rings, or other incriminating evidence to pass later. No, this guy's the perfect assassin.
Yep, he did his job well, and that just makes our job harder.
Completely unremarkable, which once again hints at a much larger. It's not since the Bisclave could I imagine such a sort of stout and loyal brotherhood of assassins and malefactors.
I worry, of course, that there might be more of them planted like this one, but unless another one shows themselves, we won't be able to ask this one questions.
I highly doubt that this one agent acted alone. He might have at least had a servant who was less loyal, but they're probably already, if they haven't already left, they've probably just taken to the hills. We know for a fact that bandits can thrive in these hills.
Of course.
What they have that passes for Reeves is laughable at best.
Right. It's unlikely we'll find a single thing. Well, I can only hope that Spencer and Dax had better luck of it. If they've investigated the ship, they must have certainly found something interesting so far. And of course, the captain will be none the wiser to their presence or activities or wants.
Well, I've been up to my cute little raccoon wrists in viscera and human remains. So let's go have lunch.
Handkerchief?
So you basically meet back again early in the morning, basically, because it's been going all.
Yeah,
night,
so that was our
going
evening
back.
activities.
Yeah. Early in the
We
morning.
could go for a late supper.
But
Go
wait, after we left the tavern, I would not have kind of left it there. I would
Yeah.
have wanted to check out the ship.
Yeah, if
so-
you got a part 2, do
First
part
of all-
2.
First of all, exiting and Spencer, when you come out the next time, which I'm assuming not long after I left the tavern,
Right.
the first thing I'm going to say is like, I feel like that was useless. I don't have much information at all. All I know is that he is smuggling. He's aware of it. He's part of it, and the shipment that night was potentially for Lady Violetta. Wait, was that the right name actually?
Lady, what's her name? Veritas. Lady Veritas.
Lady Veritas. We'll have to look into that later. But otherwise, not much information. I propose we go see how heavily guarded his ship is, if it's possible
Yes.
to.
Yeah, the best smugglers don't ask questions. So even if he did smuggle the gun in, he probably doesn't know.
Yeah, possibly. Though I to keep things straight, I suspect he might have a record, if not of what the items are, at least who they're for and when. So
This sounds like an excellent affair. However, Lord Gregory, I would ask that I may be excused. I need to offer my devotionals.
Absolutely. It's late in the night anyway at this point.
Yep, I'm going off to the church to offer charity.
And we shall meet again in the morning. Come, Harmon.
Yes, sir.
okay,
That
we
and
were
that's-
with you guys. This is before we've met back up.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
heads up.
exactly. So this is middle of the night.
Finding the whaling whale is pretty easy. It's a mid-sized ship. Later on, will be called a nice size sloop. And it's a caribou, like larger caribou. No cannon that you can see. In this one, the gangplank is up, and you see a couple of, at least in the upper deck and the deck, a couple of people sort of moving about. Maybe 2, maybe 3 at most. But that's about it. There are heavy ropes that connect. The ship is being tied down, so there are ropes that go from the pier to the ship, and the ship is at anchor, so there's that as well. But the gangplank is up.
Thought. Oh, my climbing's a D4.
And the
That's
oars
right.
are also, and the oars, which is a caribou, has oars, have been pulled in as well.
You any good at climbing, Spencer?
Well, climbing is body speed and climbing plus strength. I have D6, D6, D4, D8.
Very good.
And fast climber as a raccoon, so I can get in there quicker than most anybody.
That's interesting. Are you interested in climbing across and seeing if you can get into the captain's quarters?
Yes. It should be fun.
Well,
I
roll for it.
might be able to do this. If it's body speed and climbing, I might get a success out of that too. Should we go together, or would you prefer to quietly slip across yourself?
Let's go together, but take 2 separate ropes. Try to meet at the aft castle, or whatever they call where the captain keeps his quarters,
Yes.
Okay.
and hope it's not locked.
Yeah. Well, with locked doors, we might be able to get around that.
So do your climbing rolls. 8 and a 6. A 6 is good enough. And you both climb the ropes, right? I guess you do it upside down so the people on the deck don't see you. You reach the deck. Essentially, there seems to be these are guards of sorts, and they're about. They look like we're 3 from a distance. Actually, only 2 of them. And they're walking around, kind of bored. They get together. They talk to each other. I don't know why we're doing this. I don't think anybody's gonna get in here. Well, the
All
captain
right.
said, and the captain always says, "I don't care what the captain says. This is stupid. We should be drinking." Like,
They
all right.
sound angry. I'm going to cause a distraction to give us a better chance of sneaking in past them. And this distraction is going to be known as a ruckus.
Okay.
And I will aim this. So at one of the guards, let me roll my aim die. So I got 2 successes versus their speed, will, and inquiry versus 3. Well, his, the victims. And what this is going to do is cause him to do the attack action every turn. But he doesn't have to hit anybody. He just has to attack the air.
So it's like a fly basically buzzing around this.
Yes.
So it's will, his speed, and anything else?
Inquiry.
Oh,
I've put the resist of all my spells in their macros so you can see it without
yeah,
me telling you.
he has no inquiry. So
You're just going to enrage some random person.
oh
Yes.
he resists.
Random sailor.
Right. He sort of waves his hand and is like, "You hear that?" It's like, "What? I didn't hear anything. What's wrong with you?" I don't
No,
know.
if he becomes enraged, he's like
Well,
filled
here's
with
the thing.
rage.
His 6 doesn't matter so much as it being a success. It's versus 3. I have.
Yeah.
We both have 1 success. You're right. Never mind. But
That's a tie. He blows you off. Yeah.
I have a favored use. Let me try to reroll that d6.
Okay. Ow.
There we go. Now he's enraged.
He starts waving around and wait for his weapon, and the other guy's like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, I'm tired of this shite. I always get the short end of the stick. It's like, and they start shouting, and he's trying to get his weapon, and he's sort of, it's a wild eye, and the other sailor's trying to calm him down. It's like, what's wrong with you? That's why you don't get to drink. Come on now.
So
Like,
while they're busy
they start pushing each other, and it's like,
All right, while this is going on, Spencer's going to sneak to the captain's quarters area. So I guess that would be speed, stealth, and a possible bonus for them being distracted.
You get a D8, yeah.
Dex is gonna do the same.
You also get a D8.
Your might. Okay, so but what am I rolling? It's speed, stealth.
Speed, stealth, and 9, I believe it is.
Damn. At least I got a 5.
A body, but not mine. Body. Sorry. You have a 5, yeah. And you have a D8 bonus.
I rolled that and I got a 1. So my distraction did not help me at all.
What was the bonus?
1D8.
D8.
Oh yeah. You have a 6. Let's see if they. I mean, they have a penalty, so which is 1d6.
Their penalty was our bonus.
Yeah, so that's it. So let's see if they notice.
They tied me.
Yeah. Defender wins.
If I have cover or something to hide behind on the way there, that should break the tie.
Okay, yeah, you have cover. I mean, there's barrels and boxes and whatnot. Not a lot of stuff, but there's there's the main mass. So if you duck quickly, you can sort of. But they're looking in general direction. So what's happening is they didn't see you, but if you try to get to the aft castle, you have to break cover, and so basically you're trapped there. Versus Dax, who has just managed to just sort of wiggle in unseen, essentially.
All right.
So that's the situation. Think about it, it's like you're dragging in. They look at you in your direction. You go like, don't look this way. Don't look this way. And he's like, what? And the other guy, ah! He's like, just. And meanwhile, Dax going, and just goes to the main door. So,
so
in
I
a
got
way,
it.
yeah, you made it
Okay.
fine, but Spencer is like, okay, I gotta be careful not to move, otherwise they might see me, and you already have a guy who's enraged, so that wouldn't be good. Unless you can try to do something, another distraction, something like that might break the line of sight and then move. But if you don't, if Spencer doesn't do anything else, for the moment they're trapped behind the main mast, unseen yet perturbed, I suppose. So Dax, you and the door is open, right? They're not at all, they're basically in their own home in a way. So the door is open. You make your way to captain's quarters. This is not the same as, say, a galleon when you have the beautiful windows in the back, stuff like that. This is pretty cramped. Not even a desk. I would say tiny. There's actually an actual bed as opposed to a hammock. Right beside the bed is a small table. There's some books. There's some ink. So apparently he writes. And maybe a foot locker, and that's about it. Because it's more like a small New York apartment. You're like, okay, but it is a private cabin. Right?
Cool. I'm gonna search it.
Okay.
Basically as quickly as possible before we get caught.
Yeah. Then there'll be a search, and I believe that's a mind, speed, and in this case, not inquiry, observation.
There's a
searching skill.
Yeah.
Also search that.
Okay. Just to check, does Streetwise come to play at this at all?
Not here, no.
Okay.
You got a 5.
Oh, whew, I don't need
You
that,
got
man.
You got an assist, yeah. Okay, you got an 8. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you find notes. You find underneath the book itself is sort of a note and said, it's basically the barrels have been delivered. And most like it says there's a sort of like a, actually no, it's not a note. Basically, there's a small personal diary the captain is having. It says the barrels were delivered. I don't like carrying the stuff in my ship. It's too dangerous. And they didn't pay me enough for this.
Okay. That's just the latest entry in the diary.
Yeah, but you're searching quickly, so you notice that one page has been sort of, turned, so it's like dog ear. So
yeah, that's cool. No, I'm not going to bother to read it now. I just checking that's not the only thing in the book. Yeah,
no, it's a complete diary. Yeah, it's a complete diary.
Yeah, cool. Definitely taking the diary then. And that's all I found looking around.
Yeah, in a quick search.
Mm-hmm.
As you go out, do you typically go out? Do you send a signal to you from where you are? You actually see Spencer hiding behind the main mast, and the two sailors sort of arguing, right? The one still going. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to signal Spencer? Or are you just going to take a dive in the water? What are you going to do? Well, the book might be damaged if you do that, but
Also, I don't think I can swim.
That's also my information.
Yeah. Just to double check though, you said this was after a quick search. I just want to check that even though I was going quickly, I checked everything, or did I?
I mean, you get a look around, you check behind the book and behind the table, on the table.
Okay, cool. So I feel like I looked everywhere.
And you basically
That's
found
cool.
it, right underneath the book, right? It's a smaller little book that, he had like a journal, like a captain's log, basically.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll take whatever books.
Star date 2559.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So are the guys, the two crew members, looking right at the direction, or they're just
One of them is sort of trying to calm down his compatriot, but kind of glancing around, like he saw something. He's aware something is off. Besides the fact that his compatriot is agitated, like he saw something. But so he seems to be somebody who's guarding his less than he's looking for something specifically, and more like guarding his back. Like he has a bit of paranoia. Like something's weird going on. I don't know what it is, but this guy just started getting cranky, and I gotta put him down. But I swore I saw something, but I gotta deal with this. So he's sort of caught between these two, situations. Like his tail switching very fast, and
if Spencer sees Dax peeking up the door or anything, I do have a plan to cause another distraction.
Okay.
With another status effect, of course. So if that does happen this time, he'll get the guy that he didn't enrage.
Mm-hmm.
After having had enough time to refresh his magic, of course, he will aim and cast a perplexing on him.
Okay.
That causes confusion. I've got 2 successes versus speed, mind, and inquiry versus 3.
Again, he doesn't have inquiry, so it's just speed and mind.
Well, I have 2 successes, not 3. If I said 3, I'm sorry.
No. It's just what he has. Yeah. He resisted, I believe.
Yeah, he tied, and I can't break the tie in any way.
Basically, you're trapped behind the main mast right now. So.
Yeah, can I ask about that? I'm just trying to understand, like, logistically where we are. Is the problem that if I were to head back towards where he is, I would be going through an open area, or that
you would have to. If you try to join up with Spencer, you're gonna have to go through the deck, right? Remember, you came from the opposite sides. The reason why you were so easy to get was you came from the back of the ship, and so we're much closer and just got in. Spencer tried to go from the other side, from the bow, and in the process, this guy noticed something. They noticed him because he hadn't attacked him and like that, but he noticed something, and now he's paranoid between what's happening with the other crew member who's shouting and something he saw behind his back. So it's like, so Spencer could try to move, but it will be difficult for him to do so unless he can find another box or something like that, or he can, or some kind of distraction. You're free to go right now. You could exit. But Spencer seems to be trapped right now. It's like a stealth game where you're sort of like there, and that the guy's doing the circuit, and kind of look, and it's like the guy doesn't move. And it's like every time you move, look, is it coming back? Right? It's like that situation.
Okay, so Spencer is stuck. He can't go anywhere. But I could get off theoretically, and then maybe from the shoreline cause a distraction.
Yeah, sure,
okay.
No problem.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to climb back across,
Go ahead.
And then on the shore try to cause a ruckus or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you have at least 2 dice to climb, you can rote that.
If I have 2 dice to climb, I can what?
Rote, which means you take the number of dice you have, divide them in half, and that's the number of successes you get on your climb.
Oh, okay.
Since you've done it before.
Yeah, I forget what climbing was. What it was: body speed.
Body speed,
climbing?
strength, and climbing.
Mm-hmm. It's 4 dice.
Wait, strength?
That's a gift if you have it.
Oh, I don't. Okay, so
It's athletics if you have it.
have...
Makes sense, of course.
No,
Athletics is a skill that replaced climbing in later versions of Sanguine's system.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I kept thinking climbing is a gift.
So I have body speed and 1 mark in climbing, so that's 3 die. So you're saying I could take half of that? like 1.5 really 1 and have 1 automatic success?
Yes. Unless the GM thinks there's some kind of danger or the situation has changed since you did that climb last.
No, not necessarily has changed. Not for Dax.
Okay. Works for me. I'll take the auto success.
You climb down. Yeah, and you go to the club thing, the rope thing where you're going on.
And I assume the guy who's kind of enraged is audible from the dock, right?
Oh, yeah, very much.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna start shouting at them like, "Oi, what is wrong with this guy? Are you okay? Do you guys need help? You guys, I can call the guard. Do you guys, what is going on?" Like, and I'm just gonna start trying to distract the hell out of them, to get their attention focused on me, so Spencer can make a dash.
I'm gonna roll this and see how likely it is that yes. You start shouting. A few people look, and then from one of the alleys, a group of the watch, of the river watch, start coming down. Because you started shouting and stuff like that, and people, yeah, this area is very raucous, but it's also the fact that people are shouting in a ship that is weird, and you're shouting at the ship, so people are like, "What's going on?" So you see about four members of the River Watch coming your way.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to get the guy's attention on the ship, so Spencer can at least get into some better position than he is now.
Yeah, and you find there's the leader of the watch is a boar. He's like, "What's going on here?"
Oh, I don't know, man. I was just walking by. This one guy seems really upset up there. I can't tell if they're fighting or what. I just was trying to ask him if they're okay.
"What's going on there?" Like, "No, nothing. Lower the gangplank." "I'm not gonna lower no gangplank." And they start shouting, and it's like, so now Spencer, you hear these shouts from the shore, from the pier. You have a chance, right? Because this guy now is arguing. He's trying to hold back his buddy. He's shouting at the other guy, right? It's like, and they're ordering him to lower the gangplank so they can go on board. And he's like, "No, I'm going to do that." So there's a back and forth. So now you have a chance. Right? The eyesight has been broken in your area. You have a chance to sneak.
Does this? Sorry, I got the powder of a Tums caught in my throat. Does this distraction give me a bonus to myself?
Yes, another D8.
All right. Is this ship between two piers, or there one pier and ocean or river on the other side?
Pier and river.
All right. Towards if there's any ropes at the back of the ship, that's where he'll go, climb up the ship itself, go to the top deck, down a rope where these guards that are coming to investigate won't see him. So speed, stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 5.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
They were not particularly looking for you, so they were just focused on what's going on. So you climb down and get to the pier, and maybe somebody walking by is like, "What?" And just keep walking. It's like, whatever. It's not my problem. I'm not gonna mess with this. So you're there, and maybe you do some kind of signal to Dax. That Vesper is like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I think he's got a synecdoche. I said that wrong, to Dax, so he could use thought reading anywhere within medium range. Doesn't need line of sight if he's doing it that way, and we'll just say I'm free.
And I take it Dax just he retreats from the situation.
Oh yeah, the guards are here. I'm like, you guys got it, man. I'm just gonna peel off and wait to hear from you. And once you do,
and the shouting continues, and now more people are coming in. It's like, this now has become a spectacle, right? These people are shouting at each other and fighting, and eventually you hear like a splash, somebody like the other guy still tired wrestling with him. He just took a bucket of water and just whacked him in the face, like, "Wait, get out of it!" Right? You notice in the corner of your eye, you see Captain Jameson and his crew coming down as well from another alley, right? Coming to the ship after drinking and all that, and they start getting into an argument with the River Watch, was now called more people than. It has become a complete shit show. It's like this is ruining his entire night now that he has to deal with all this.
My work is complete.
Yeah, and you retreat back and get together eventually early in the morning. Or in the morning, you get together with the rest of the group, unless the other party's gonna other members of the party are gonna do something else.
That's cool. Yeah, I think we'd head back to Gregory's for the night because he's got a nice place.
All right. So you'll meet at me at the night then, like immediately after this, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You probably like come in. It's like you get invited. I'm probably like playing the family harpsichord in the middle of the manor or something. Everyone's awake. We're all lions. We don't care. Oh, well, pleasure to see you again. How did everything fare? Nobody is the wiser, I hope.
Well,
Definitely no large amount of people is suddenly aware of an incident that has occurred.
Well,
Spencer just smiles.
we might have attracted a bit of attention.
Well, hopefully not very much. Well, what did you learn?
Well, we have his diary, and in speaking with the man in person, he did say that the item in question on the night the circus came into town was smuggled for Lady Veritas.
Lady Veritas.
Yeah,
Is
but
that a
hopefully
name
it's
that I
diary.
know?
I don't know.
Do you have any ranks in nobility or similar?
I have nobility for sure.
Okay, roll.
Well, what would you like me to roll?
Inquiry.
Mind inquiry. Alright, so I'll roll 2d6, and I will add a d12 for being a noble. I don't think we truck in the same circles at all.
No. Whoever this person is, I mean, this is a capital, so there's a lot of minor nobles and attendants and all kinds of people, right? In the countryside, it's much easier because it's like the Baron, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Duke. But here is the court, so you have people coming in and out all the time.
Harmon, you've never heard of any Lady Veritas, have you?
No.
Ah, well, what a shame. Guess he's just not much of a party goer. Well, nonetheless, this is a name of interest, and I think maybe it behooves us to see where exactly these barrels have gone. I have no doubt they're full of gunpowder.
Well, so the barrels was the latest entry. The troop, did it just come into... Like, is the barrels the entry that corresponds with the date in question that we're interested in?
Actually, no. It's a little... It's in between.
Okay.
So, the circus has been around for nearly a week.
Mm-hmm.
So between that and the day of the assassination, because otherwise it would have been like today they would have delivered them. So no, it hasn't been delivered in that time. He talked about barrels and he talked about being dangerous, but didn't say what they were and what was.
What could possibly be in a barrel that's dangerous? It must be a horde of ferrets.
Are there any entries for the date that we're, where he would have been transporting whatever it is that we're interested in?
Well, there's also mentions of there is a mention of a delivered from Laroquette. Special delivery from Laroquette. And you know that Laroquette is, the engraved L. You identify that as a sort of a gun maker. And he says, and there's basically a question mark beside it. It's like, why would anybody order this? Why ask me to get delivered this, right? But he again doesn't ask a lot of questions. But he was curious. It did pique his interest, right? Laroquette seems to be someone of famous gunsmith, at least in Triskelion. So, yeah.
Cool. So we know he brought over at least one of the two guns that the assassin had.
Right.
Probably both, but
I would venture to say perhaps both guns are involved somehow. Though
Yeah.
why he would wait for such a special delivery for one gun would be a mystery if that were the case. Unless, of course, he just wanted to go out in style. Oh, No, it's not a bad idea. I should get something nice engraved. Still, this is good work. We need to figure out who this Lady Veritas is, though. Where she is, and perhaps do a bit of snooping around. So, the barrels seem like they're different, though, than the Lady Veritas entry. And also different from the gun delivery entry. But those would be the three things of interest, like, since the ship has arrived, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 3 separate little points. I say we wait, we get some rest for now. We go out and we start talking tomorrow. See if we can figure out who this lady is, and where she is.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay.
So get some rest. You'll
So
continue your jobs in the morning.
Mhm.
And when morning comes around, of course, I'll go ahead and update Vesper as well on the state of the investigation, that we do have a name, and how we just need to put a face to it. We also have some missing barrels, which, no specific designation where they went, but I can take a guess. Perhaps Lady Veritas.
So how do you want to proceed from here?
Well, I say first we figure out who this person of interest is. I don't want to step on toes before I have to. So let's talk around the town, see if anyone knows the name, and see if we can narrow down where she is. What's her business?
It sounds like a pseudonym, if you ask me, because Veritas is the old way of just saying truth.
That does sound reasonable, actually. Well, that only makes things harder for us. Where do you suspect we should begin, then?
Well, I suspect with the criminal element, this is a large enough city that there has to be some sort of smuggling or other sorts of operations going on.
Mm-hmm.
And also, somehow, the criminal had to get into... I mean, I'm doubting that the criminal was somebody local, and the fact that you've got at least a name of someone that they're working for. This could also be a secret society, which means it could also be among the other nobles, and we just don't know about it because we're a bunch of interlopers.
Right. And I guess just to clarify, the entry that mentions Lady Veritas, she is a local figure here, correct? Not a foreign one.
It just says Lady Veritas.
It
Okay,
just
but
says Lady Veritas, no other sentence.
Right, that's why I'm guessing it's a pseudo, but
But the
it could still be a
date
local.
would suggest that the captain was in port when he wrote that. So
Okay, cool.
so
So
he delivered something.
good, yeah, that's what I was asking. So, delivered to, she's here. So, Vesper, you're correct. The criminal element seems to be where we need to go for this. We need to get some feeling of who this Lady Veritas figure is by their pseudonym alone among the criminals that she uses a pseudonym with. So, that seems like the order of the day.
I mean, I don't know any criminals. I'm not streetwise.
Well, I don't know either, though some might claim the nobles are the real criminals, but we don't listen to those sorts around here. Well, who could be so pure and innocent as to perhaps have a criminal connection?
I don't know. Certainly not me. But you know what I could do is I have familiarity with weapons. I could maybe take these the pistol and all and have it looked at.
Oh, do you actually not have Streetwise?
No, I do. I'm just
Okay.
not necessarily.
yeah.
It's a
forthcoming with-
prerequisite. Streetwise is a prerequisite for backstabbing.
So my suggestion then is, since you have the big bonus, you could lead with your D12, and we'll assist you by spreading out and asking questions among people you target.
I mean, I am
Right, yeah.
among commoners, which is also among the criminals, because, like, if you look in the Ironclaw book, you can see whether the chapter on healing, one of the options is charity, where you go to the church and say, please heal me. And, you know, because they're suckers like that and say, oh, yeah, okay, we'll do this for free. There's a long wait, but that's possible. So I'm on the flip side of that. I'm an almoner. I'm the one who's like, I'm just hanging out at the church, giving healing to anybody who comes by to ask for it, because it's what I do. It's my higher calling. So I interact with a lot of the base elements, but I don't actually have Streetwise. I'm more of a big joke when it comes to that.
Which is ultimately why just tagging along and adding your voice to it would just basically be like, yeah, you know, ask that guy in the corner, ask this one, you know.
Well, what makes more sense is to come by
Mhm.
the large church that I'm at. I could say, you should talk to that guy. He's hiding something.
Yeah.
Which would be where I would do that kind of assist. But the other thing I'm also worried about is, remember, the assassination was an attempt. It wasn't actually successful.
Mhm.
So I'm a little worried. Shouldn't we be watching them in case someone tries to finish the job?
We should, but I think the commissioner's already worried about it. Chamberlain, yes.
Do you trust the Chamberlain? The Chamberlain's job was to also stop assassins from showing up in the first place.
I do. I think she's trustworthy. She's hardworking. She knows what she's doing. She's already well aware of the danger, and that's why we're on this case in the first place. But if she believes that there's further danger, which she should, she probably has assigned some guard there in the first place.
I will defer to your wisdom on this. But yeah, if we want to start making inquiries on who the Lady Veritas is, I could also meditate upon this.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna put the word out that you're looking for this Veritas person?
I would like to do something unique that I'm not going to tell everybody else.
Right, so you're doing your
Okay.
separate action, and then I'm suggesting that Dax will lead the way and will assist them in questioning their streetwise companions.
But the thing is, Dax is not sharing the information with you guys that he is streetwise. That's why Dax is suggesting maybe he'll go look into the guns when he's actually gonna, go
That's
talk
your
to the
cover.
criminal.
That's your
So-
cover, yeah.
So I'll go, well, I'm going to trust you to do your part of the investigation then, take whomever you wish, of course. And maybe I'll just hang out with Vesper, because that's a place for a proper noble to appear and be seen at a church, rather than in the streets.
I would recommend against it. We're going to have a lot of contact with the unwashed.
Right. Huh, then I need something to do. I could go carousing around. I'm gonna go just rub shoulders with the with the nobles of the city and just sort of get a feeling about the different political ladies in power. That's going to be
Yeah,
my
well,
ultimate gossiping kind of suggestion for myself.
Yeah.
Especially
I
if
feel
it's wrong.
somebody calling this one a lady is, either they're very presumptuous or maybe they have something to back it up, right? At least the captain thought that she could back it up. This person could back it up. So there's that.
Right, it could just be false, but if I can maybe get a sense of, of that sort of thing,
Okay.
I can at least say, like, maybe it isn't the nobles.
Okay, so yes, do a gossip roll, I guess, with the Vesper assisting.
Okay.
Well, I'm with them, so I'll do the assisting.
Mind or
Okay.
will?
This would, you're just trying to get information to see if there's any movers and shakers you haven't heard of, right?
Yeah.
In the city. So yeah, you're gonna do mine. I don't
Okay,
think you
so
really
2d6.
try
I'm a noble interacting with nobles. And now the only other question is, might I add in etiquette, as I am interacting with them in normal social circles and scenarios?
Mhm.
And Spencer will give me an additional d8, it seems.
Yes. Referee, I thought that you were doing something on your own, so Spencer was hanging out with Gregory.
Yeah, that's what. I actually have my own business to attend to.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're not assisting me. You're doing your own thing. So I just have the 1d8. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
I'll tell you what you have in a moment. So
That's
I want to
fine.
make sure that everybody, everybody has done the thing. So, okay.
Oh, you want to do like a explanation after everyone's gone? Is
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand what you.
No.
If
I want to
if
make
you're
sure
expecting me to do.
Yeah, but you're gonna do streetwise. You're gonna. So I'm thinking that basically this is you're gonna the characters are gonna divide themselves. Someone's gonna do the high road where they're gonna investigate nobility. You're gonna go the low road and say if there's an established context with your established criminal element to see if they heard about this lady Veritas. So you're trying to outflank the situation, and Rafferty's gonna do his own thing. Okay. But I wanted to make sure that I knew what everybody's going to do, so that I could, space it out and I don't forget anybody. So what's your role? And so Dax roll. What's Dax roll?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was rolling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's gossip with streetwise, and
Mind.
then mind. Okay. Six.
A 6 is good. So let's start with you. In one of the many taverns of the city, you meet one of your contacts, and essentially when you meet them and they are let's see what they are. Yeah, they're feline. They're cats, street cats. And like, listen now. I know you'll be asking questions about this situation. This thing got a lot of people are nervous. People asking. You're not the only one asking questions. Everybody's asking who could be doing this. As far as I know, nobody I know is asking. And now this lady, what was it again?
Veritas.
Veritas. Yeah, I've heard that name before. Asking for things, strange things. Buying strange things. Odd things. Things that make my skin crawl, you know what I mean?
What kind of things? What do you mean?
I heard about a month ago. There was a theft of bodies at the local cemetery. The old one, not the new one.
Mm-hmm.
The poor fellows cemetery.
Basically, the bodies.
I don't know, and their name came up. Someone called Lady Veritas paid the keeper to keep his mouth shut, but someone heard that he had money, and they went after the keeper, and well, a night or two later, they got the money, and well, they have a new cemetery keeper now. I'm afraid the old one is buried with the other bodies, but he said that he pleaded for his life and said that this lady had paid him money. Apparently he thought that she was cleaning up house or something. Probably just different operators doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing we heard about it, and we also heard rumors about buying strange substances and such.
Like what?
Some of the bosses think that perhaps she's doing some of the dark witchery, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
And they don't like that. They don't like that at all. Now you're telling me that she's smuggling stuff as well. Well, it's not good. I mean, I don't know how much I'm gonna help you. She doesn't leave much of a track. he or she or whoever they are. But if
Do
they're
you know?
buying, but they're
Are they?
buying. No, that's the
Sorry.
thing. We hear about, every time we investigate ourselves because we want to put a damper on this before it gets ugly. That's the only thing we get, Lady Veritas. Buying mushrooms and crystals and all kinds of stuff.
With the
Oh,
cemetery, was she paying to? Were they paying to
They were paying for
smuggle
bodies.
bodies? Huh?
They were paying for bodies.
Yeah,
Recent ones.
bodies took them out. Okay.
I don't like that, to be sure.
Do you know anyone who's delivered to them who might have some more information about them?
That's the thing. We want to put a stop on this, We can't find it. Again, her name comes up over and over again. And she's putting, well, I suppose a she, if you're going by lady, offensive anything. But, they're putting quite a bit of money. That's for sure. They have money.
Do you believe it's a person or a group?
Could be a front person, But whatever
When did
it is,
when did the name start coming up?
about 2 months ago, right in the middle of winter. In fact, the buying of the bodies was right in winter.
Yeah.
So I guess, thing. Anything, pass it along. Maybe we can solve this before anybody else, gets involved. I know there's a new magistrate in town, been poking around stuff.
Mhm.
We don't mind as long as they don't interfere,
Yeah.
Yeah, better. But this is to be a noble thing, And we also have rumors from, sort of was it heading in the general direction of the castle Tallwind, Caer Tallwind. Things are heating up in there as well. It would be a shame if blood ran through the streets.
Yeah.
Usually it's ours. I like to keep it where it belongs, inside me.
I hear that.
So
Yeah, I can see how this could be. No, it's okay. I can see how this would be bad for business. So I'll let you know what I hear, and you contact me if you have any more information as well. Okay.
Will do. Good luck.
Thanks. You too.
To Griffin, to Gregory.
Yeah.
There's with the spring. There's what tends to happen is because this is the capital, and there's long distances. Mostly the islands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What many of the nobles, including the other kings, they send representatives not only to the Privy Council, but think of it as the High King, and then you have the Privy Council, and you have the courts, which are sort of these rings of nobles around there. And the farther you are, the weaker you are, right? The Privy Council is the official council, but there's people who around each of these people also have their own circles and servants and followers. So it's almost like this a series of rings with the king at the center, right? The High King at the center. And so people come and go, especially minor nobles lands or representatives of other people, right? One of them that has stuck out to you is, look at I need a name for her, so I don't want to repeat the same name and then confuse everybody. Yes, a Lady Valerie. Lady Valerie Chatois. And the reason why is because she seems to be from a mixed marriage of a Calambrian noble house and a local lord.
Okay.
And so that sticks out. So she's mixed. And she is a silver fox, which are in not so much here. The local nobility, the older nobility tends to be actually red foxes and other canines, wolves, red foxes, and even a few hounds, while the newer nobility tends to be felines, particularly lions. So she stands out because she's a gray fox.
Right. She's the noble line over in Calabria and Triskalia.
Yeah. But seems to be connected to the old nobility by virtue of also being a fox, if not the right kind of fox. And she's been hosting parties and stuff like that. So she seems to be the one that sort of catches your attention. Has a manor outside the city, and the reason why she catches your attention is because for a minor noble, she seems to have a lot of money. Like she's
Ooh.
throwing a lot of money around, but nobody seems to know where that money's come from. Like she's a noble, so she has money, but you know the truth, right? You can be a noble and be destitute and only have your title, and be a merchant and be as rich as nearly the king, if not more so, right? The today in this modern world of the Isles is a starting a changeover from landed gentry to moneyed interest.
Yeah, the new wave of rich here.
Yeah, so she's pushing money like the nouveau rich, but she has the position of a old landed gentry. So that that really causes you like, oh, this is clearly a new player here.
Right. So I suppose as I'm talking around, I'm probably asking, oh, what really? So much money. What does she do? What's her business? I have to get into that too if it's so lucrative.
And yeah, and it's like everybody's like, well, I guess she has money, probably some major inheritance of some sort. You're talking across the bar with somebody, one of your old buddies from university. It's like, I don't know. It's like also no children as well. She just seems to be by her lonesome.
And
which is interesting.
Eligible bachelorette, you say? Well then,
Yeah.
I must simply speak to her immediately.
I suppose you have to, yes. Now that I think about it.
I'll have to arrange some sort of, perhaps dinner with her at some point. I wonder if I could send a message through a friend of my friend, or you the friend of the friend that knows her. Perhaps you could pass a letter along for me.
Oh, for sure, yes. Are you coming to the game of cricket this later on the week?
Oh, absolutely! I wouldn't miss that for anything.
And I heard Gilbert has a new game, an indoor racket thing that he's doing.
Indoor activity indoors? Is he mad? Well, I have to see this go down.
It has a net thing, and it's very interesting. I like to play it and run around in this sort of inside court.
Well, I'm sure he'll explain it to me when I'm drunk, and I'll forget the rules next time.
Yes. Well, I'll have to share with it, Rackets, yes, they have rackets. That's what they call it. Doesn't sound right, but it's a racket, and the net and the thing that, I don't know, it's a ball, it's a bird. I'm not really sure. It's interesting.
I'm sure it'll be a grand time one way or another.
Yes. Well, nice to see you again, friend.
Of course, always good to see you.
Send the message along, yeah.
Okay, so I'll compose a short letter of introduction. It's like, yes, I'm such and such, and I've heard of your wealth and fortune, and of course, as a noble myself, I'm interested to speak to you, arrange business with you, and otherwise come to know you perhaps as a friend, and maybe we could have a dinner or something. So. I'll compose something very nice and pretty to that effect, and see if maybe I get a response.
Yeah, Vesper, you go out of the city. No, Vesper. Sorry. Yeah, Vesper.
Yeah, it's me.
Yes.
I'm leaving the city.
And a slight mist comes in, and you find yourself going down a side road into a house, a cottage, small cottage, near where the events, the ambassador's manor.